Fury gets to keep his name. Basically, man, he ended this. So basically, Jake Paul pretty much got exposed for being who we all thought he was. And, to keep it a buck, Fury's not really all that himself. But at the end of the day, he was supposed to win that fight. Now, we already know that it's scripted to where they probably would do this again. But at the end of the day, there's no value to Jake Paul anymore. This is over. Jake Paul can't fight in a professional realm, and he needs to just call himself, an entertainer, because he's in between boxing and the WWE. Or you can make an argument that Jake Paul's fights are the WWE, whatever you want to call it. Jake Paul, what I seen, he showed me that if he gets put in the ring with a professional fighter, he will get destroyed. This was his real, true test, and he failed. And I feel like Fury, if he would have took a little bit more chances, he could have probably got the stoppage. Even though he got hit with a lot of overhand rights, which Paul telegraphed a lot of them, you should have been able to see him coming, because he didn't do a very good job of disguising that, that overhand right. So that was there for Paul all night, but Fury just outboxed him, and he was hitting him with thumping shots. So Fury had to win this fight, because if he would have lost to a YouTuber, then he should have just retired from boxing, period. So do I have any interest in seeing this again? No, absolutely not, because it's over. Doesn't matter what Jake Paul does from now on. Doesn't matter. He can't beat Canelo. He could not be a professionally trained boxer from any aspect. He just can't, because Jake Paul is just not that good. And we got a real glimpse of how good he really is, and he isn't very good, and it just needs to be said. I was tired of seeing this. I believe what I've always believed about a lot of his fights, that they were possibly scripted. And I just believe that. And people can sit up there and say, oh, you're hating on Jake Paul, whatever the case may be. I just saw enough of this I saw this in previous fights to know, okay, this guy, this is just a spectacle. He isn't a real boxer, and he shouldn't be labeled as a real boxer. But just imagine if he fought somebody that, had more skills than Fury did. Could you imagine him getting put in the ring with somebody like David Benavidez? Could you imagine him getting put in the ring with Bibbo or Artabet Habib or somebody like that? They would destroy him. They would crush him. They would hurt him really bad. So he need to keep doing what he doing, which is putting on these spectacles / exhibitions. I don't even know why he licensed as a professional fighter. He shouldn't even be licensed as a professional fighter. And to me, this was his actual first professional fight. And you seen what happened. He lost. He got beat. The only thing I'm disappointed in is that Fury didn't stop him, which I think with a little bit more training, in preparation, Fury would stop him. And I think Fury stops him in the next fight. And from this point over, this point on, nobody's going to take Jake Paul serious. Canelo would be, for real, Canelo would be laughed at if he even remotely considered getting in the ring with him. But I know one person that might be desperate enough to get in the ring with him to sell a fight, based off nobody came to see him fight yesterday. I'm going to talk about that later on. I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd Mayweather was desperate enough to get in the ring with Jake Paul, based off the fact that he had like disappointing low attendance at his fight. He fought pretty much in an empty arena because I think now people have seen enough of this with Floyd Mayweather, which leads me to believe that I think Floyd Mayweather may possibly come back for a actual fight. And I looked at Floyd. Floyd looked decent. He still had the skills and stuff, but at the end of the day, nobody wants to see this anymore. I think people didn't had enough of these exhibition matches. Floyd then fought since he officially retired in 2000. Well, I guess you could say 2015 after he fought Berto. And then he went on to fight Conor McGregor, which you can make an argument Conor McGregor shouldn't have counted as his 50th fight. Floyd has fought, at least 5 or 6 times since then. So I just think it didn't ran its course. At least, you know, I just think people don't want to see this anymore with Floyd. I think people didn't had enough of this. And that's just fact. And there ain't nobody hating on Floyd. But I think Floyd need a reality check. And I just think people need to just tell him the truth. Floyd, your time is up now. You had your time. You shined. You helped boxing, but then you hurt it at the same time, which I'll talk about that later on. But getting back to Jake Paul, like I said before, boxing fans, real boxing purists, people like me that grew up watching the sport, that seen real actual fighters fight, I thought what Jake Paul was doing was appalling. And I thought it was sad. I really did. I thought it was sad. I thought it was pathetic that people actually bought into this, that people really paid attention to this. And I told you, I was serious as hell when I said I will not cover a Jake Paul fight until he fights a actual fighter. He fought an actual licensed fighter. And now we seen what happens if you put Jake Paul in the ring with an actual fighter. He's gonna lose. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that Tommy Fury is a world beater, but Tommy Fury wouldn't have had no business losing that fight. Now, as far as Jake Paul saying sign the contract, winner take all, that's ridiculous. And any of you Jake Paul fans sit up there and try to justify that, like, come on, man. No fighter would ever sign a contract where they would get in the ring, get punched, and they walk away with nothing. Because you always have the judges in the back of your eye. Okay, well, you saying that, you asking me to sign a contract like that. How do I know that the judges are not on your payroll? Okay, so for people to say, oh, well, Tommy Fury didn't believe in himself too much because he didn't sign a contract to fight and make double. Nah. And like I said, and that was a clown move of Jake Paul to even like say something like that, bro. Nobody would do that. Nobody with common sense would agree to something like that. And hopefully Jake Paul then got out of this echo chamber this self-proclaimed echo chamber that he's the savior of modern boxing and that he's the savior. No, he just was a good laugh. He was a good 3-year joke. And now he could go away now. It doesn't even matter if he wins the rematch with Tommy Fury. It's over with. We see Jake Paul for who he is. I've been saw him for what he is. Like I said, I told you about Triple G. When everybody was on the Triple G hype train, I never thought Triple G was that good. I predicted, I said as soon as stiffer competition came up to 160, he was either going to move up or he was going to try to maneuver around those fighters, which he did. I predicted that was going to happen. So now that the Jake Paul hype train has been derailed, now we can move on. Now, hopefully, now we can start talking about some real fighters and some real fights get made. I've seen enough of this. There's no need to continue to be part of this or pay attention to this. Doesn't matter now what Jake Paul does. Doesn't matter if he wins the rematch. Doesn't matter if he comes back and he sleeps Fury. He already lost once. There's no value to him now. Nobody won't ever take him serious. Doesn't matter who he fights. And keep in mind, cruiserweight isn't what you call an eye-popping division anyway. There's not really any real money in cruiserweight. The only way Jake Paul would be taken serious if he moves down to either 168, and we know he ain't moving down to 168, or he moves down to 175. We know he's not crazy enough to try to fight anybody at 175 because he probably, worst case scenario, he gets put in a coma or he becomes a vegetable. One of them dudes would seriously hurt him. So there's no need to continue this charade. It's time to move on from Jake Paul. People should go on his social media accounts and say, hey, Jake, just leave it alone now. It's over for you, dude. It's over. It's over for you. You will not ever be taken serious as a boxer. Well, I said earlier. I said that Tommy Fury wasn't all that neither. I don't think Tommy Fury has a real serious career in boxing. He's won too much muscle mass at the top, and he's not fluent with his punches. That's another thing. Well, I'm going to just say this much. If you paid to see that, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you if you paid for that fight. That's all I can say. I don't know what to tell you if you paid for that fight. It was, I mean, you got to keep it 100. I mean, let's not play these games because, eventually you're going to be able to watch the thing regardless within hours, unless it's just real talk. I'm just saying if you if you pay for that, then I don't know what to tell you. Oh, and and thank you for bringing Badu Jack up. Thank you for bringing Badu Jack up. Don't be surprised if Canelo cherry picks Badu Jack, offers Badu Jack a decent amount of money, and then he tries to go up to cruiserweight and fight Badu Jack. Canelo is good at this kind of thing. So y'all heard it here first. Y'all heard it here first. Don't be surprised if Canelo starts talking about, maybe I fight cruiserweight. Maybe I go up to cruiserweight and win it. Okay. That would be a tall order for Canelo. That would backfire on him. Because I don't think Canelo's power would carry up to almost 200 pounds or 200 pounds. Canelo is a small dude. Canelo maybe at best be about 5'7.5", 5'8". Canelo is small. But I wouldn't be surprised if he tries something like that. It might backfire on him, but he tried to cherry pick with Bivol, and look what happened. You got to understand with Canelo. See, the thing is with Canelo is still an attraction, just like Oscar De La Hoya was an attraction, win, lose, or draw. So Canelo got that a little bit. Now, do he sells the pay-per-views that Oscar used to sell? No, but Canelo is a popular fighter. But he might get away with that because keep in mind, Canelo got a lot of people that back him up, or they'll say he has, huge cojones, which I don't think he does, because if he had huge cojones, he would have fought everybody. And we all know that Canelo didn't fight everybody. We know he circled the wagon a lot on certain fights. Oh, yeah, boxing fan, that's in the cards. They already said that was in the cards. They already said that was in the cards, which you got to ask yourself, well, if Berlanga gets a shot at Canelo, how did he leapfrog over everybody? So you could see Berlanga and Canelo, which, by the way, that fight probably is not going to do very well as far as pay-per-views go. It's a question of how many pay-per-views Canelo did versus Triple G. Canelo didn't look that good versus Triple G. He won, but he was supposed to stop Triple G. And if we could be honest with each other, we know we just know it was a disappointing outing for Canelo versus Triple G. And a third fight that really nobody asked for, that nobody cared to see. And then you have to understand this. Canelo is going to be 33 years old, I think, in July or something. Canelo might be at that point where his best years is behind him now. Canelo then had 60 something fights. And then Canelo said there was 4 or 5 fights that he had that he didn't get credit for. So that's a lot of rounds. That's a lot of fights. And then they got some dogs coming up, or they just got some dudes that you just have to ask yourself and question: do Canelo really have a legitimate chance against them? Nobody with common sense believes Canelo could beat Arthur Beterbiev. A lot of people, in all likelihood, think in a rematch, Canelo, if the fight is on the up and up, believe that he'll get stopped. Because I'm picking Bibble if they fight again. If they fight at 175, Bibble gonna stop Canelo. He gonna stop Canelo. Like I said before, watching that first fight and seeing how easy Bibble had his way with Canelo, Bibble, all he had to do was just turn it up and apply more pressure. See, Arthur Beterbiev, if he would have had Canelo cornered against the ring, Arthur Beterbiev, he would have started to cut the ring off, and he would have started to hit Canelo with those short shots. Those short shots. One thing about Beterbiev, he doesn't waste punches really. He makes every punch count. And those little short body shots, combinations, they would have just took toll on Canelo. You would have probably seen Canelo drop for the first time, take a knee. Well, he'd been dropped before, but I'm saying Canelo would get seriously hurt if he fought somebody like Beterbiev, even at age 30, 37, 38. So Canelo, his next couple of fights, he going to be weighing his options very carefully, because at the end of the day, if David Benavidez is successful versus Caleb Plant, the amount of pressure that's going to be on Canelo to fight Benavidez is going to skyrocket. And Canelo ain't going to be able to keep maneuvering and dodging this situation, dodging this conversation about Benavidez, because many people believe that he ducking him in the first place. Yeah, Matisse, he fought a great fight. Yesterday, and he was patient too. He just broke dude down. He broke homeboy down, and he got him up out of there. But now he had an IBF strap, so now we could talk about the possibility him facing off against Regis. Now, I don't know what's next for Regis. Regis, you've been hearing about Regis, possibly Jack Catterall, but we'll just have to see. But like I said, 140 is very interesting right now. It's over with. It's over with. Tommy Fury, he defeated Jake Paul via split decision. Now some information that was sent to me, but I have to decide whether I'm going to use it or not, because at the end of the day, when you put stuff like that out, you could be, get yourself in trouble. And kind of, I got enough heat on me for real, I got enough heat on me as it is. But as I was saying earlier in the stream, it's just over with. It's like I said, it's over with Jake Paul, and now you see why I was calling him that name. Now I'm not gonna call him that name, because I figure like this. I decided I'm not gonna be Skip Bayless towards these athletes. At the end of the day, they do get in the ring and they, put their life on the line, and I'm not doing it. So I'm not gonna talk like Skip Bayless. But I will say this about Jake Paul, like the phenomenon is over with now. When I say the air has been completely been let out of the balloon with Jake Paul, now you see it. I think this charade needed to end, and I'm glad that it ended today. Like I said before, it doesn't matter what Jake Paul does from this point. You lost, man. And we see it. Do anybody at this point, let's just keep it a buck. Do anybody at this point would pay top dollar to watch Jake Paul versus Canelo in a fight that he has absolutely no chance against? He has no chance against Canelo whatsoever. And as bad as he looked today, he has no chance. He has no chance against I ain't even going to say a top level elite fighter. He doesn't have a chance against a mediocre fighter. His mechanics, his form is just terrible. Jake Paul fights like a dude basically coming off the street. Now, he might do good in street brawls and all that kind of stuff, because street brawls is different from professional fights, where you got a referee and you got to have form and all, and fluency, form. Just Jake Paul is just as mechanical. He just as mechanical as Fury is. Yeah, it has been. We don't want to see this no more. And the sad part about Jake Paul now is, now that regular spectators done seen this, Jake Paul is going to have to walk around with regular security for a while, because people going to be pulling up on him. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be the first one to say this too. I really hope that Floyd Mayweather don't entertain the thought of getting in the ring with Jake Paul. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Floyd, nobody came to see that fight he had yesterday. That arena was pretty empty. Now, of course, 50 Cent was trolling Floyd Mayweather, which I'm going to respond to 50 Cent too, because 50 Cent is a clown in his own right. Yeah, he did. J-Dog. He got it. Well, he just got out. He got outboxed and he got out punched by a lethargic, mechanical Tommy Fury. But like I said, to me, it was a good thing. But like I said, like they used to say with the what was that? The X-Files. The truth is out there. Well, the truth got revealed today that Jake Paul isn't that good. He isn't that good. He just he isn't that good. You would watch videos of him training. Like I said, Jake Paul wouldn't take the fear out of you wanting to get in the ring with him. Watching him train, Jake Paul would encourage you to be like, man, I could beat Jake Paul. So people go be testing Jake Paul's gangster. So I hope he prepared for that. He better hire extra security because neither one of them is that good. Logan isn't very good. I mean, Logan. You can make an argument in that exhibition match with Floyd. Floyd landed a shot and it temporarily like knocked Logan out. And they was trying to say that didn't happen, but yeah, neither one of them got a real career in professional fighting. Now, if Jake Paul want to label himself as a entertainer or a boxing entertainer, then you go right ahead. But as far as you being a professional fighter, you not no professional fighter, man. You not no professional fighter because you can't beat the average mediocre fighter. Your skill set is limited. And then watching you and then for you to be the main event, that was even worse. That was even worse. That was even worse. Watch that be the main event. So I think now, what does Jake Paul do now? Okay, he talked about they gonna have a rematch. Okay, who gonna be interested in a rematch? Who wants to see that again? Who gonna buy it? I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Jake Paul got like what 20 million YouTube followers or something like that. Okay, why couldn't you get it? And I already know the pay-per-view numbers ain't gonna be revealed. I'm pretty sure that 20 million people didn't buy that fight. And I know they gonna try to say, oh, it was a success and all this stuff, and people want to see Jake Paul. Nobody don't want to see no Jake Paul. I refuse to cover any of those fights until, like I said, he fought a real fighter. I covered this fight. I seen all I needed to know. He failed the test. I've seen enough. I don't want to see this again. I don't want to see this again. And I think we all should be over this. And it's just time for us to move on from this. Okay, so he had a good, decent, what you would call, I guess, a 3-year run. He had 3 years to basically fool the public and put on this charade that he was like some professional boxer. Nah, he an entertainer. He an actor. That's exactly what he is. Now, if he want to use his newfound popularity, transitioning from being a failed Disney actor to being a failed so-called professional boxer and then go back into acting, then more power to him. That's what he should do. He an actor. Go back into acting. Your popularity is good enough now to where, people will probably come see your movies. Go be the next, I don't know, Jason Statham or Bruce Willis or fill in that void. At the end of the day, you 26 years old. So go do that. Go do some movies or something. Because that's really what you wanted to do in the first place. You're not gonna get a marquee fight. You're not gonna get Canelo because we all know that Canelo would waste you. He'd waste you. Yeah, I don't want to see this anymore. I've had enough of this. But I do want to give Tommy Fury some praise. Thank you for ending this charade. Thank you for ending this. Thank you to now we don't have to sit up here and even have conversations about Jake Paul anymore because we know who he is now. Well, I've always known it. Do I think there's a gigantic payday for him? The only payday out there for him, and I hope that Floyd wouldn't be desperate enough and seeking attention and be desperate enough for money to where he actually fights Jake Paul. But that could happen based off the fact that nobody came to see Floyd Mayweather, yesterday. I'm going to talk about that further. But anyway, appreciate you guys tapping in. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.